ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the report. This is First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah.
Good morning, and welcome to Coffee and Cover 2. Here to bring you what happened yesterday, as we do every Sunday. Some big games, some big shakeups, some not so big games and shakeups. The SEC is yet again wide open. I think we've been saying that for the past 4 or 5 weeks in a row. We'll start off with Buddha's favorite team to talk about how elite they are, and that's Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Oklahoma found an offense in that first half. They looked pretty good. They were moving the ball pretty easy. Jackson Arnold was kind of doing his thing. Then Ole Miss settled. Lane said, "Hey, let's stop playing with our food," and started playing some ball. At halftime, Ole Miss was down 10-14, and then they finished the game 26-14. Dart was 22 of 30 with 311 yards and a touchdown. And then their defense just got tired of letting Jackson Arnold do his thing. Finished the game with 9 sacks.
The line may be the worst in the country.
Yeah, and it looked like
they're not going to play in a bowl game. I think they got one win left.
Maine. I believe Maine is the only one I see on the foreseeable future.
I count Maine out of it yet.
They're gonna love that one. They're gonna love that one. Don't count Maine out of it yet. Oh man, this is their third loss in a row too. Also, you got to think about that. The 3 losses in a row like that. I mean, yeah, they got Maine, then they got Mizzou, then they got Alabama, and then LSU. So that's three tough games. Mizzou didn't look too hot this past weekend, but still, they just gotta have that.
Mizzou didn't match up well against Alabama, but everybody matches up well against OU.
I mean, yeah, you can't really argue with that. That's probably 100% the truth. I don't know what's going on with these wide receivers. I understand injuries happen or whatever, but they have so many so consecutively. I'm starting to think that a lot of it now. What's that?
They are like the Saints. Like, it's insane to me how similar that is. Like, they both suck. Everybody's hurt. The head coach is a jackass. Like, they're the same.
Yeah, we'll see how it comes out. It's man, I don't know. Ole Miss was an 18-point favorite going into the game. And it was just it just got ugly quick. They just couldn't. That offensive line was just atrocious. Jackson Darnold actually had spots where it's like, oh, okay, this kid is making some smart moves. Their game plan in that first half was pretty good. It was throw the ball quick or pull it and run it, and that's what he was doing, and it was working.
I mean, he was a 5-star for a reason. Like, I mean, he can play. Maybe not well, but he can play.
Yeah, he. It wasn't a good look at the end, but hey, then now they're on a three game skid, but it looks like they'll probably fix it next weekend or this coming weekend against Maine. But we'll see. Like you said, don't count Maine out.
Don't count Maine out.
They lose that one. There's even more worry in Norman, Oklahoma, for sure. Let's move on to Nebraska, Ohio State. The start of this game, I thought, hey, look, Ohio State's gonna just throw them around and do what they want to do, and that's what it looked like the first half. And then it just shifted. In the third quarter, Nebraska only put up 3, and then they put up 8 in the fourth, and it was like, uh-oh, don't blink. They're 4 points away from make something happen here. They just couldn't get it done, though. Couldn't get it done. What is up with...
Who is Nebraska? Such a weird team. Like, one week they show up, and last week they get obliterated, and then you show up yesterday and look like you can beat a top-tier team. Nebraska's so weird to me.
Yeah. What's weird to me is what is going on in that running back room? This is another week where you see no running game out of Ohio State. Like,
and they've got two really good ones.
exactly. They had 64 total running yards. Judkins had 29. Henderson had 25. And his 15-yard run was the longest of the game. The longest run for him. 15 yards. You got two elite running backs essentially that aren't doing anything. Your quarterback threw for 285 yards and 3 touchdowns, but no running game whatsoever. It's like 64 yards running. It's crazy. Crazy. But they ended up pulling it off with 21-17 point victory, but Nebraska made it scary for a little bit there. There's so many question marks on this Ohio State team that we'll see what happens, but they got Penn State next week. I think it is I believe it is next week. Penn State next week, then Purdue, which will be an easy one. Northwestern, which should be an easy one. Then they got Indiana, who's kind of running things in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then after Indiana, they got the big game. They finished with Michigan. And Michigan came out with a big win yesterday, too, which, I mean, beating your rival, in-state rival like that's something you got to do all the time. It was pretty funny to hear the tight end kind of talk a bunch of smack about it afterwards because there was an altercation between those games as well. But I don't know about. I'm not sure about Ohio State. I don't know what. I can't get a good read on them. They look sloppy a little too much for me.
Well, they got Dak Prescott at quarterback, so.
Got Dak in there, huh? Yeah, that's just an interesting situation. We'll see what kind of happens there. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this team. Like I said, you have those two elite running backs, and they're not getting it done. It's kind of questionable. Before we move on to our two big ones, how about Colorado? Colorado's bowl eligible.
Good for Dion. Prime got him. He's a good coach.
Yeah, I mean, and we've criticized him as much as probably anybody else out there, but I felt like we need to give him his flowers. Hey, he's got this team bowl eligible. They do have 2 losses, but still, hey, they're like, hey, we can play some ball. We want to play some ball, and we'll get it done. So, hello, haters. Prime's still doing his thing, and he's actually heading to a bowl this year for sure. Maybe more. Maybe something bigger if he keeps rolling.
He still can't recruit well. I mean, but they are good. They are good.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on to our big two. Texas goes into Tennessee and wins. Wasn't a pretty win whatsoever. 27-24. They let it be a game, but they let it be a game on themselves more than anything else.
Well, you feel obvious. You got to survive the storm. You just got to survive.
Yeah, and honestly, it wasn't. And I'll say it, and people will probably be like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," or whatever, and they could say that. If Pavia really wasn't the big issue. The issue was us turning the ball over on our side of the field yet again. 2 tip balls that turned into 14 points. In the past 2 weeks, Texas has given up 31 points off of 6 turnovers. Yeah, can't have those mistakes and anything. Other than that, I mean, Quinn showed who he is, and for everyone thinking Quinn isn't QB1, he showed them yesterday. Outside of the 2 tip balls, which happened, they're tip balls. It's not like he directly threw interceptions. They were balls that were tipped that turned into points for the other team. He was 27 of 37, 288 yards, and 3 touchdowns. After his first pick, he was 17 of 17 at one point with 2 touchdowns. The kid can ball. He is QB1 and it's clear. Deontay Moore stood out for Texas. He finished the game with 6 catches and 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Michael Taft, everyone's favorite safety, was balling. Mookie had 5 tackles, 2 defensive stops, a forced fumble, and an interception. He was going off. Looked good. Peso Pavia had his moments like he always does. He kind of steps up and makes moments happen. He did get injured. I think his injury affected him for the rest of the game once it happened. He did go down and score 2 times after the injury, but you could clearly see once he took that his ankle got to, or his knee At first they were reporting that it was his ankle, but then he came out with the knee brace on, so it was his knee. But he wasn't the same after he took that hit. I think their longest play was his 18-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. After that, Texas never trailed. They just kind of woke up and started playing ball outside of the 2 turnovers. Ugly win, but it's a win. It's a road win too. They said that was the smallest crowd Texas has played under since 1995.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand it too. Their stadium's going under major renovations and everything else, but I'm not sure if you watched the game or you watched anything from the game. The majority of the fans there were Texas fans too. I was like,
that's Vandy. That's usually the case.
Which is like your team is in the top 25. They're playing some of the best ball they've ever played, and no one shows up to the games. It's nuts to me.
I mean, it's very nuts. Also, like they lost, but like they're still good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I take nothing away from
game.
Yeah, I take nothing away from them. I thought it was, and it might be because I'm biased. I'm a Texas fan, so it might be. I thought Texas played down to their level and didn't play as good, but they made the plays that they had to. Those tip plays are something that they made happen, and they turned them into points. And
I think Vandy's good.
Yeah,
they were a top 25 team for a reason. They're good.
Yeah, it was a more stressful game than I thought it should have been. Like I text y'all. I mean, after Texas's pick six got called back, I was like, oh shit, here we go. As soon as that play happened, I texted Buddha and Bo and said, we don't like pesos in Texas. Remember that, Alamo? And then they threw, there was a flag on the play and it got pulled back. I was like, damn it, here we go. Here we go. Maybe jinx them a little bit there. But hey, it is what it is. Texas walks away with the win. We're going to a bye week. Hopefully this all gets cleaned up throughout the bye week. And then we got Florida here in Austin, so it should be a fun one. First time Florida's ever came to Austin, DKR, so it should be a good one. Let's touch on the big one, the one that everybody was all eyes were on it. Everybody was looking at it. Buddha's eyes were on it. There might have been a little buzzed throughout the night, but holy hell, College Station was rocking. And I mean, hey, I guess you know what an Aggie is now. Like I called him whenever they put in. I dubbed him the Farmer VY since he wears number 10 and he kind of runs the ball like Vince. When he got put in the game, the ball game changed completely.
The shit as soon as he got in. No, I mean LSU drawing board. You got whooped in the second half. LSU got whooped in the second half. First half they played great, but you also can't miss 3 kicks and like play the South. Like they were playing with fire in the first half. Everybody in the bar is jumping them down. We're up by 10. Whoop-de-doo. I'm like, you're kind of playing with fire, and then it just went to literal just dog shit. I mean, they were horrible in the second half. Good for A&M. They're going to talk a whole lot, deservingly so. LSU season is not done. Good God, it doesn't feel good right now.
I hear you on that one. This is the question that I've been asking, I think, pretty much every week. And anytime LSU has a sloppy game, I've asked this. What is up with the running game?
It doesn't help that your left guard got hurt last night, so you had to play a backup. Like that doesn't help that Garrett Dellinger went out. He's one of your better run blockers, but like I don't know. That's something they got to address because it's a bad run. They're a bad running team. They don't run the ball well at all.
Which you thought you would never hear about LSU. I mean, you can say the same thing about Alabama. Alabama's also missing a running game, so it's kind of like what's going on with both of these teams. In the second half, A&M outrushed LSU 144 to 0 rushing yards in the second half. Like
I said, they got whooped in the second half. But the running game is an issue, and I don't even know how you fix it because they try. They just don't block it well. It's like they run block like they're pass blocking still. They're just not good at it.
Yeah. Nuss still threw for 400 yards. 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. The 3 picks are what were kind of out
Yeah,
there.
and the 3 picks, all 3 of them were like high leverage picks. Well, the first 2 were high leverage. Like you threw picks, they're like momentum's on their side, and you throw a bad ball. The third one, I don't know, stupid pick. I mean, throw it right to a guy, but like,
yeah, he was trying to hit the screen, and when he threw that one, I was like,
that was the one where I was like, this is the bar. I was like,
yeah. I didn't. I think after the first drive when Reed went in and scored off of one play, everyone's focus should have went straight to him. I mean, he was 2 for 2. He threw one huge pass. Other than that, it was read option the whole way. And the kid performed. The kid went off. The crazy thing was how long he would hold the ball in the belly of the running back, and then
he would
pull
ride that thing out.
I was like, man, and that's playing with fire, because one hit or one bad pull out is a fumble, and it changes everything. What's that?
He did fumble one on the
Yeah.
goal line.
Yeah. Which was, I'm just like, oh man. Their running game just went off too. You said you were worried about Moss, and Moss, I mean, he put up 83 yards off of 14 rushes. Amari Daniels, 12 rushes for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Reed had 62 for 3 touchdowns. Like, so their running game kind of woke up. And y'all's defense had been playing so good that I didn't think y'all would have to worry about the run game because they were playing so good. But that second half, they were just.
Yeah, that was the thing. It played so good in the first half, and then everything went to shit. It's like they just quit playing football. Everybody, the whole team was like, "We're good. Let's go home."
Yeah. Once Wegman hit the bench, I don't think Wegman plays again for the rest of the year.
I mean, Marcel Reed clearly gives them something on all. Like they clearly gives juice.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything that he brought into the game was crazy, and he was playing lights out, 100% playing lights out. LSU's got, I think, Bama next, right?
Yeah, we get a bye week, then we got Bama, which, being that you didn't handle a running quarterback well, you don't love Jalen Milroe walking into town, but you got a bye week, you get a little break, and then maybe figure it out on the drawing board. Like, season ain't over. Like I said, season ain't over. It doesn't feel good today, but a lot of season left. Go beat Alabama, and everybody forgets that you just looked like just dog shit. Everybody forgets that.
Yeah. And then this Bama game's probably got the biggest college football playoff implications in it thus far, because I think you win this one, you pretty much you still got a shot at it. You lose this one, I think it's I think
plays as a playoff game.
Yeah.
If you win out, you'll probably get in the back end of it. If you lose one, it's over. Like if you lose to Bama, you're going to play in the Music City Bowl.
The Music City Bowl. Oh man. I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like I said, Nuss looked great that first half, and then it just. I think they only sacked Nuss once or twice the whole game. They did put a lot of constant pressure on him, but he just never looked comfortable in that second half. It seemed like he was rushing his throws a lot too. I just didn't get it.
I didn't think they put enough emphasis on staying on schedule. Like, I thought in the first half they did a really good job staying on schedule. Like, we don't need to get 20 yards. Let's just go get 4, and then let's get 5, then 2. Like, I thought in the second half it felt like they were just taking shots. Like,
Yeah.
I can think back in my head to how many balls Nuss kind of just threw up to a receiver. And when those balls hit, everybody goes nuts. It's awesome. But you're not on schedule. Like, when you're in a big environment, you got to stay on schedule. And I thought they got away from that. And that's LSU's offensive coordinator, like Joe Sloan. I'd say bad job. And that's probably partially why they couldn't run the ball. Like, that's probably part of it. They're never on schedule. Like, that's kind of their thing. But I think that affects the run game because there isn't any moment that makes sense to run. I think that's something they got to address. But I mean, you get a bye week, so
Yeah. And I mean, Nuss is still throwing lights out. I mean, 405 yards against a good defense too. Like that's still impressive. But 3 picks, like you said, 2 of them were kind of up there. That one was super ugly. And we said it. We've been saying it all year. When Nuss throws picks, they're bonehead picks. But you just can't have them in a big game like that. You really can't. It'll get fixed. Hopefully, we'll see how they do against Alabama. They are going to get. We'll see how bad that defense that you've been calling out all year is up against a gunslinger, because Nuss is going to come out throwing. I just think they got to fix this running game more than anything else too. I think that's a big issue for them. And then just running quarterback. They got to figure out how to get Milroe to the ground. Can't have another. You can't have somebody else similar to Farmer VY step on the field and kind of do what he wants to do. Another thing, this is the clear picture of why I think y'all lost. I wanted to tell you that during the game, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna just let him be. I don't want to get him upset, and it's nothing to get you mad or anything else. But and honestly, I'll tell you now, I picked LSU to win it. I said that I was more confident in y'all's quarterback play than Wickman, which was right, but I didn't.
My reason too.
Yeah, but I didn't. I didn't have Marcel Reed even seeing the field in my point of view. But here's what jinxed y'all more than anything else. You let a Sooner put on purple for y'all. Cam said it in his tweet. He said, hey, I'm about to put on purple for them Tigers. I was like, oh, there it is. There it is. There's the death mark right there. Once that happened, everything kind of went downhill. If I would have saw that and knew that was coming, I would have picked A&M beforehand. So that's you can't let a Sooner into that locker room, man. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna give him hell for that. But that's pretty much it, man. That's all we got for y'all. It's a short one because we covered everything pretty quick. And next week, neither one of our teams play. We got bye weeks, so we'll probably we'll cover the big ones that we do still have for next week. Other than that, that's kind of all I got for him. Buddha is at his alumni. Had an alumni weekend, so I know he's having fun. Bo is doing the same because I think he had homecoming for his alumni as well. But hey, it is what it is. We had some good games to watch. We'll be back Tuesday with our podcast when we dig in deep on these games and kind of see what's going on and hear what the coaches have to say on Monday. Other than that, that's all I got for y'all. Buddha, you got anything else for him?
No. See y'all.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Hook.
First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the report. This is First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces.